Oh, hello. This week on the Barely Stable podcast, we'll talk about the Capital of Texas Open, the first Q Series qualifier here in Austin. Oh, look, putting.
Motherfucking snakes on your motherfucking disc golf course. We talked to somebody who survived a snake bite and discuss what to do and, more importantly, what not to do if you get bit.
Music City Open happened, Champions Cup happened. We got some drama to talk about. It's time for another fantasy update.
Are we really going to keep saying motherfucker?
All that and more on this week's Barely Stable motherfucking podcast.
Welcome to Barely Stable, an intermediate level podcast.
Hosted by Daniel Freeberg and Nick Barr. Produced by Daniel Rigdon. Studio engineer Trevor Williamson. A cool disc golf podcast for intermediate players.
Live from beautiful Austin, Texas, this is the Barely Stable podcast. We're ready to BS. Here are your Barely Stable hosts, Daniel Freeberg and Nick Barr.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Barely Stable podcast. It's episode 17, and we have some shit to talk about.
We got a lot of stuff today. It's going to be a really good time. Can't forget, we got our boy in the back, Mr. Rigdon.
Hey, guys.
The heart and soul of the Barely Stable podcast, maybe?
Sure.
He's the rudder of the ship, for sure. He keeps us going straight across the ocean.
I'm always underwater, definitely.
Swimming. I referred to him as a cameraman the other day.
I got a text
and
from
he did not like it.
I got a text from someone that you would have appreciated. Someone went swimming at Moody's this weekend. They found one of my discs.
Hell yeah.
They
and
sent
called
the
you
text.
even? Yeah.
The funniest thing, as I parked at Roy G on Sunday, a disc was underneath the bushes. I rummage under and I grab it. I'm like, I'll just give this to Goose of the table. It's probably someone's. He's like, oh no, I know this guy though. You probably do too. And I didn't see the name, but it says Zapata. You probably played with him too. That same dude, finds my disc out at Moody's.
Nice.
Crazy story.
His full circle, baby.
Full circle. Kind of awesome. So
like a disc.
No hemorrhoids or herpes per the laws of Freeberg.
Circle free of herpes hemorrhoids.
Yeah. So we got a lot to talk about today. The very first thing I thought we'd do is catch up just a little bit. We've been out there playing a little bit of disc golf. We just played some on Sunday in the rain.
Roy G.
We played disc golf.
I was so gung-ho about it. It was supposed to be 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And it got cut down to 1 round.
Yeah.
And I was, because it cleared up, but then it rained after we started.
Yeah, I was stoked. If it had just kind of stayed how it was when we started, I think it would have been fine. And I mean, I wasn't really... I don't want to blame the rain. I'm not playing really well, but everyone played in the same rain. But I didn't realize how much, you can't really throw super hard. It feels like you lose power. Like it's like, I don't know. I think because I've avoided playing in the rain so long, I don't think I've ever really kind of taken into an account even how to play in the rain. I thought I did a good job staying dry, like umbrella and like all the tangible things about playing in the rain. Sure, but I don't know if I went about it the right way at all. How about you?
Texas weather got me. So I had the bag condom. It was fantastic. I was not going to get pregnant at all by the rain.
Okay.
And
what do you mean by back?
It was actually for NADGT last year, the Upper Park.
Oh, you got
bag.
Okay, yeah.
It came with a rain cover, which I couldn't fit all my shit in the Upper Park bag, but the cover
still fit on your
went
bag
over my grip bag, and it was great. It
Yeah.
was awesome. I had to take 1 disc out because it was a little tight,
Mm-hmm.
and I had that on there, but then it cleared up when they canceled the first round and we're just going to do 1 round. It cleared up. And I was like, well, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
And then when we started playing, it rained on us for the next 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it basically rained for 3/4 of the round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we probably played 10 or 12 holes in the rain, maybe.
Yeah. I was thoroughly saturated from the rain because I had nothing. No umbrella, no backpack condom, no nothing.
I had an extra umbrella in the car, brother.
I was too stubborn. I
Wish I
probably
would've
wouldn't have
known.
used it anyway.
It's funny. Someone else on the card wouldn't have taken it either, which I thought was funny. They were, completely saturated at that point too. Same.
Yeah.
I switched my socks out at one point because so much rain had gotten into my shoes that I was just sludging around. So I took my socks out, wrung them out, and put new socks on. Didn't help the game at all. I was like, oh, maybe this will. No, it didn't.
The downside of the waterproof shoes,
Yeah.
if the water gets in the top, they just become a cup. They don't drain.
Oh, same thing. The Gore-Tex shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just was like sloshing in slosh sake. It was a lot of rain, way more than I anticipated, but still good to get out and play. Roy G. Goose put on a great tournament as always. I thought they handled the weather. I know there's a little bit of complaining. I don't think those people who complained ever ran a tournament before. Like, they got to be safe. They got to consider a lot of things. I give them a 10 out of 10 for how they handled it. I don't think anyone with a reasonable brain would have handled it any differently. It's really unfortunate we haven't got to play like a good round at Roy G that's just like not shitty weather.
Yeah,
like,
it's like not some kind of weird problem going on.
yeah.
Wind or ice cold or...
Hopefully soon, though. We would have had a chance, and I guess the first thing we'll talk about here is the next big tournament here in Austin coming up is a Disc Golf Pro Tour Q Series, which if you're not familiar with the Q Series, it's a new set of events where you can play into the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So it's like a way to get your, Pro Tour card. Haven't done enough research on this to actually talk to you about it really educated-wise. I probably should have taken 10 seconds on the old Google before we sat down here, but Rigdon will do a little bit of research as I continue to drone on about it. The Q Series event here is the Capital of Texas Open, which is Kodo. It's been going on here for, do you know, it's like 20-some years?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been
longer than I've been playing tournaments.
Yeah, Mint's got it going on. It's a huge event. A tier here. Like I said, Q Series event. Every place from Sprinkle Valley, Roy G. I don't remember all the courses on
Met
it
Center,
now.
Live Oak.
Met Center, Live Oak on there, of course. A couple of courses have been dropped or switched out.
Yeah. They dropped. What happened was they wanted it to be bigger than what it is, and it's still like, I think they're still recovering, I guess, like a lot of people and businesses, from how different things were during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So there was a while there where they'd put out a tournament and it would fill up well before the tournament happened.
Sometimes the day.
And
I mean, Dude's Dubs still the day.
Yeah. But a lot of the tournaments nowadays, especially the bigger ones here in town, I'm seeing, they don't fill up right away. And so I think with that one, they saw that they didn't have as many people as they thought they were going to have. And they're trying to project it, and they're trying to, they're trying to look out for number one. You know, they have a business to run, but they realized it was going to be smaller, and they cut one of the courses that were going to be there. And the thing that we were all sad about was they switched one of the courses that we were going to play on as AMs. So MA2, MA3, I think MA1 too. I'm not 100% sure on MA1.
Yeah.
They switched. It was going to be Roy G, Met Center, Sprinkle.
Which, if you live in Austin,
that's
a 10 out of a 10 3-day run. Not that Live Oak's that bad. Like, don't get me wrong. But I think MA1, MA2, MA3 are all the same, running the same track.
So Roy G got switched for Live Oak. And it's on a big tournament like that. Roy G is it's kind of birdie palooza. You know what I mean? It's
Roy G's birdie palooza?
Not Roy G. Live Oak.
Yeah.
Is a birdie roulette, even, if you will, because it's an easier course. You have to get them.
It's basically how many 250 to 300 foot shots can you throw under the basket and make your birdie putts,
and immediately put the birdies away. So I don't like it as much for a big time tournament like.
Although I bet they litter it with out of bounds, like they did the other one, and they make it challenging again. Yeah. It does have a lot of the spread of scores.
More differentiation.
Differentiator holes?
Yeah.
Or,
just when
separating holes.
Yeah, separator holes, essentially. So, like, that one hole that goes towards the fall off, that's like 320 feet kind of downhill. That's a pretty easy hole, par 3. Even though it's kind of long for some people, it's still a pretty easy up and down hole when it's just wide open. When they put that tight alleyway that kind of opens up at the end,
makes it a little tougher.
Yeah, a right-hander, you basically have to carry out of bounds the whole way on a hyzer and spike it in there, or throw a forehand. Left-handers, you guys have a couple more options, but that's a tough shot.
Not too much hyzer for a lefty.
Yeah, and then you get it on its edge, it goes out of bounds. Like, they've got a lot of holes like that where it'll still be tricky, but it's never going to be Roy G.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll make it work. Kind of my complaint wasn't, it's not always what you say. Sometimes it's how you say it. So I think if they would have come out, instead of being like, we're changing this, it's not set in stone, but we're changing this. If they would have come out and said, hey, we don't have quite as many people as we'd like. If we don't get X amount of people by X date, this will be the change. Because I think kind of the way it was done encourages someone like me. because I'm playing anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like it's Austin.
We're
I'll be
degenerates.
here.
Yeah.
I think the term tournament slut has been used on me before, or tournament whore. I would say slut because I generally don't get paid.
Yeah, so you don't charge. So
Yeah,
like,
so-
just real
yeah, it's
slutty.
free.
Yeah.
But it's kind of
no whore.
it's kind of conditioning us to look at it and be like, well, I'm going to wait to find out what the actual thing is going to be before I sign up, which is exactly what they're trying to avoid.
Yeah, and there's this weird thing I've noticed too as we've looked into running an event that, like, there's a lot of resistance to running an event the same weekend that another event is going on. Mm-hmm. And it would seem weird if if someone can present a better product that maybe costs the same but has higher value, is at a different course, whatever, that's capitalism. That's kind of what free market is kind of based on. And the good old boys of disc golf thing is kind of getting a little, I don't know. It feels like it's leaking to every part of disc golf from the top to the bottom. And I mean, it's happy to see businesses strive, and you love seeing new courses go in, and that progress in disc golf. Everyone's behind and will continue to support. It's I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I didn't really love how it was handled necessarily, but what do you think? What would you have done?
That's what I would have done. I would have sent out a notice to everybody that had signed up.
Oh, and you just would have kind of been upfront about?
Yeah, just been like, hey, look, this is what's happening.
Okay.
We want it to be this, what we started with. We might not be able to afford to make it, or whatever the extenuating circumstances are. Email everybody. Be like, tell your friends, we have this goal of people by this date. Otherwise, this is the change. Not the end of the world if we make the change, but this is the change that will happen.
That seems feasible.
Yeah.
It's also, I feel like this is not the first time, and maybe this is just there's cost of doing business sometimes, and if the cost of doing business of playing in tournaments is that sometimes a bait and switch type thing is going to happen, that's cool. That's cool. We can just deal with it. But it seems, I don't know.
At the end of the day, MPO is still playing those three courses. So if you want to take our don't get bitter, get better stance, move up to MBO.
I'm not joking around. I was about to say the thing, there's always a way to play those things. And then you know what we can do? Let's say we go on a heater. Let's say we go on a 3-day heater, baby. Let's get on the sear. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So I'm confused. Are you guys mad or not?
I think I'm like this. I think I don't say stuff happens. Shit happens. And if you want to Forrest Gump me here, I'll wipe off a T-shirt and show you. But sometimes shit just happens.
Anger is as anger does.
Yeah. So I'm not necessarily angry, but I could
disc
understand if I was going to travel into Austin from someplace and play in a tournament at Roy G, which is if there's a better free course in America, show it to me. But I don't believe you. You'll have to, I'll go play it and see if there is. But a free public course on a public park, Roy G kind of is awesome, right?
Yeah. I had a knee-jerk reaction when I first got the email. I was mad. I was like, "What the fuck, guys?" But I like Live Oak. You know what I mean? I had to think about it. It's I
you
enjoy Live
should
Oak.
not be mad. You
Probably
destroy
better
Live
for
Oak.
my
I just say
rating.
you just leveled up. That did not necessarily hurt your game at
If
all.
I played Live Oak 100 times and then Roy G 100 times, the rating would be better at Live Oak.
And you're throwing
93 times.
In those 100 rounds, you're throwing however many more, 20 more shots around. Roy G has every hole you step up to, you're throwing as hard as you can.
Yeah.
There's maybe 3 holes where you throw a putter or mid range or something on a par 3.
And to circle back just a little bit on this weekend, we were out there
Yeah.
in the rain because I was pumped. I was ready to do 2. I came up in the morning. I was like, it's going to rain on the morning. I'm going to get the first round out. And then I'm going to play the second round. I'm going to play better because it won't be raining anymore. By the third, when I was 2/3 of the way through that one round,
Yeah.
it's like, what were you thinking? There's no way I could have playing 2 rounds.
Yo,
The
that's
old man was coming out hard.
I was just right there with you. That was part of my motivation to keep going. I was like, you might have had to play 2 rounds. You
Yeah.
might have got done with this round and then had to go sit in your car, soaking wet, waiting to play a second round. Actually, in an hour, I probably would have drove home, changed, and just drove right back, and hoped I made it in time. If I didn't, fucking who cares?
Yeah.
4+4 me, I'll meet you on whatever hole you guys are on. Fucking don't care. Actually, hopefully make it through a few holes, and you guys are right up here up front, so I don't have to walk through the whole course to go fucking find you. It'd be real cool if I could catch you on 16.
But, so, you know,
but anyway.
I like Roy G. I'll miss Roy G, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but real cool that it's Q series. So if you're playing in the MPO division in Q series, you can accumulate enough points to essentially make a bid into the Pro Tour, right? So to have the ability to sign up for MPO events on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Yeah. Go ahead, Rigdon.
And the Q series meant something for female players as well. Like if you're a female player and you sign up for that, you got like an extra.
Oh yeah, it's MPO, FPO. Yeah, if you're playing open divisions, yeah.
Yeah, you got like an extra. stuff.
Yeah, it's part of the. It's like this event, the Kodo. I think is part of Wildflower for the females. I think it's part of Heart of Texas. Maybe something else, and it's a Q series event. So
a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun tournament. Like, and they'll make it fun. Like, it just again, I would have done it differently, but
you know what would be really cool if they were covered and coverage was done by Trail Candy Disc Golf. Let's have a word from them right the fuck now. Welcome back. So we've had a couple weeks off. We missed last week recording, so sorry about having a little bit of a delay between these episodes. But since then, we've had the Music City Open and Champions Cup that's gone down. And boy, I'll tell you, some drama indeed at these events.
Big delay at Music City. Freaked everybody out.
Yeah, the Music City delay was... I mean, I'll be honest with you, my heart sank because, one, you don't want... like... senseless violence is senseless. Like,
yeah.
I honestly don't care. Whatever that person believes, I think they should believe. It's a fucking America. You can believe whatever you want. I honestly don't care. Threatening violence and disrupting disc golf is never cool. It's not cool. What do we say? What do we always say,
bro? Just be cool.
Just be cool.
Just
That's literally
cool.
what we always say.
Yeah. And so it sounds like they handled it pretty quick.
I felt we had Trevor on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, that we don't want anything to happen to our boy. You know, it's like we don't want anything to happen to anybody, but like it felt like we had like a brother, you know, on the ground.
Like
and
he's in the shit. What?
Yeah.
Is it cool? And then like I think we texted him and he was like, yeah, I can't talk.
Yeah, but he said he was okay. And that was honestly enough. And then like it was, I mean, he couldn't really say much, but like
it was already all out there. It was already on Reddit and everything. Like it leaked very, very fast.
Yeah, we went to private chat outside of Trevor to talk about it because it was. Yeah. I mean, there's. I couldn't imagine. Last thing he needed was more stress or anything.
You shouldn't be scared when you're out playing a game.
Yeah, we're playing a game
for that.
Yeah,
it's a game. At the end of the day, you're throwing plastic at metal baskets. It's not.
Yeah, we love the game. Not to demean it or make it seem unimportant. Like I won't ever stop doing it. But let's be real. We are playing a game. It's a game. Yeah. So for all those people that were at the Music City Open, hearts go out to you. And let's hope that doesn't have to go. But where I do think good measures will happen, I do think the Disc Golf Pro Tour will hopefully take security a bit more seriously now. I think they'll take player safety a bit more seriously now. Like talking at Austin, like where I parked as a volunteer, I basically parked in between where players were living for the week and where they were walking through the gates to check in. Yep. The walk into the gate process was essentially a couple of dudes, like
volunteers,
I recognized them from around town, like, and once they saw you, they just kind of like I saw them, you know, people with tickets and getting their badges and whatnot, but like the ability to just sort of walk on the course kind of anywhere. Like there's no real security. Like if you had just stopped on the drive in where that stop sign is and got out on that trail, you're on the course. You know what I mean? There's no like if you wanted to get on the course, getting on the course would be pretty easy. That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, that's what adds to the fear factor of it too. Is like it's a big course. There's a lot of places for some.
Yeah, you're out in the
hide,
woods.
You know.
Yeah, like at pro golf events, most of those golf courses are very, very private. You know, those are hard to get on. But there's a lot of open space. I think even this weekend at Champions Cup, to kind of like pivot a bit, it was the lowest attendance of the year for a disc golf pro event. And, you know, we've been to a few this year, and I'll tell you, it's like, it's a little bit underwhelming to go to a disc golf pro tour event. Is it awesome to watch your favorite disc golfers throw shots? Yes.
Absolutely.
100%. 100%. Is everything else awesome?
Sometimes.
Kinda. It's not really though. Let's be real. It's not. There's no like. There's not even like. I don't know. I don't want to like spill the beans on like what could be a great idea. But like, there's no pizzazz. There's no like je ne sais quoi. There's no like I feel like you just come in. There's a bunch of vendors, all set up with 10 by 10 pop
fly
tents.
marts are usually super cool.
Yeah, and the fly mart. Don't get me wrong. That's dope. Little row of fly marts. That's cool. And then that's it.
It's kind of
Give me some interactive things. Give me some putting things. Give me some contests. Give me some step and repeat places to get some pictures taken. How about have the place where you get player signatures and shit? Make sure there's some fucking Sharpies there and some things like have a fence up. Like literally like when you guys got some stuff for
sector, yeah.
How easy was it just like if your sector disc had contained a javelin missile, how easy it would have been to fire it right up Simon Lazat's ass? Like it would have been 2 seconds. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's very nonchalant. Like it's just everybody hanging out.
That's also one of the cool things about it, though, right? Is it's very chill.
You know, music festivals are also very chill. You can bounce around to different stages, to different vendors. You can go get food. You can go get T-shirts and shit. Like, music festivals have it figured out. It just takes a little bit of infrastructure. It takes a little bit of planning, and it takes a little bit of money.
A little bit more money.
Yeah. But, you know, like, how you make more money is, like, you make a better product. Like, you can make a lot of money on ticket sales. Like, you can pay for the event and make money on events if you're providing a good product. And also, like, let's be honest, on broadcast stuff, like you have pro and premium disc golf pro, like,
yeah.
Are you annoyed when they go to commercial and you're just looking at bullshit?
Yes.
Go to a live cam on any fucking, like, literally just turn it on any camera, just point it at a fucking dumpster. Don't show me the dumb shit that's just like, why are we watching this for like the 4 minutes you're off the air? Like, I have to switch over to the 18, like, whatever, like, hole it is. That's like the premier hole where they're just showing everyone throw from that hole. That's always going.
Yeah.
But that's easy incentive to get you to buy the premiere stuff so you don't have to watch that.
No, I have the premiere.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they need something on there to...
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying.
You have it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't have it, and that's why I won't get it.
Well, it means the thing, like, they don't have, like, there's a little bit of, like, where disc golf business is, like, not amazing yet. Like, we have a great sport, but, like, it feels like the disc golf pro tour still thinks the sport is the draw, is the product. It's not. It's those players.
Yeah.
It's the personalities, the stories. Why don't I have a sports center before the fucking show yet? Excuse my French. Why don't I have a couple player interviews before they head out to the course? Why don't I have a couple people as they come off the course sitting down and jamming on what's happening on the course? Why is not all of that kind of combined together? Why aren't they, like, in a pre-show before the round starts, previewing the course? They're already shooting the footage, package that together, put it, like, you're already doing most of this work. Package it together and be a real production company, not just be a bunch of dudes pointing cameras at the thing, which, don't get me wrong, coverage has been awesome. No one's shitting on coverage. What you're doing very, very well.
And that's
props.
Part of the draw to not actually be live at the tournament is the coverage is so good now.
Amen, brother.
It's kind of like old man with football nowadays.
It really
you know
is.
what I mean? Like,
I'll go to
I'd
one
rather-
game a year, but I'm not going to multiple football games a year.
Yeah.
Fuck that. It's much better in the living room.
yeah. I
And
can
to your
see
point,
everything.
Nick, like Disc Golf Pro Tour acquiring or DGN acquiring Jomez, I think that is kind of the plan. They're going to do way more like
Eventually
pre-roll
start
stuff. They're
picking
going
it
to
up
like
more.
really get into the storylines.
How,
and they've
how
done
long
some
ago
of
did
that.
they acquire
I get
Jonas?
it. Yes. No,
Yeah.
I get it. I think it's coming, but I understand that it's
No,
probably going
what's
to come.
happening, I feel like, is
Yeah.
they're pushing those people to the side and limiting them and giving them like very small lanes to live in, and they're trying to be everything. It's the
Yeah.
same thing they're doing with U-Disc. U-Disc is disc golf. U-Disc might be the strongest name in disc golf, and the PDGA has tried to separate themselves from the strongest name in disc golf. I think because a couple of dudes don't like each other.
It doesn't build the sport. That's absolutely, and that's the goal,
oh
right?
my
Is
God.
grow the sport.
I am
build
so
the sport.
fucking tired of people hiding behind that fucking moniker. Build the sport. Like, bro.
But that does grow it if they work together,
Yeah,
right?
it's like you know what
exactly.
builds the sport? Competition.
Yeah.
Not just competition where we're all playing for the sport. Like capitalistic competition actually builds the sport. Becoming better builds the sport. Not like everyone just backing the good old boy because like that's the one pony in town. Everyone get on board. It's like, how about no? It's not that dope.
Well, we have some competition here.
We do have a little bit of
And
competition. and that's our
Rigdon, I think,
fantasy
has
league.
been anxious to show off how badly he kicked our asses at the
Yeah,
Music
I
City.
do just want to highlight Music City Open. If you guys look at the point total
What?
over here, you guys did okay, but I had Simon
You guys
Lizotte
did
and Kristen
okay.
Tatar finish in first place, and Bradley Williams even give me a ton of points in 28th place. I rocketed into first place. No big deal.
Rocketed.
Yeah, that 250.
Yeah, the 500 for the two
You
wins.
probably have the highest likelihood of that happening again. Actually,
I probably do.
with Simon. Yeah.
well, just because Tatar. Yeah.
Everybody's got great players, and I mean, there's lots. I mean, with Missy Gannon, even like Haley King, Holland Hanley, like there are definitely players in there that can get Owen Scoggins that can get first place or get up there and get a lot of points.
And the rest of us,
Haley King, we got to talk, girl. What is going on? 170 minus. You got so
Yeah.
I went. You had a 340 split there with me. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, so I do want to say that having looked at this, we're learning a little bit. Just like I am getting better at disc golf, I'm also getting better at running a fantasy league. And I
Okay.
think that we have definitely decided it's just way too much pressure. We had a couple weeks where players were not able to play, like maybe last minute dropped out or in a couple days dropped out, and we didn't necessarily notice and were able to shuffle. And so we just decided, just to make it easier, we're just going to take our entire roster and kind of whoever performs the best, we're just going to take those points. And then also, getting negative points really sucks, and it's kind of punishing if somebody like Haley King finishing in 32nd place, which was not a terrible showing, but to have a negative 170 points is
But-
very punishing.
If someone doesn't play and they get 0 points, that should not count for net more than someone playing and getting negative points.
Well, with his new system where starting now, you take your best players for each slot.
Yeah, whoever does the best in the slot goes, so you don't have to stress about
Yeah.
who to play or anything like that.
so we're gonna backdate that to the first event.
No.
We're going to start.
What the fuck?
Motherfucker!
The points are in. We're not changing the points as
already
they are.
It is decided. But yeah,
I
I think
feel like
that's-
I have the best. If we were playing doubles or playing like combined stroke play on a course, my two MPO players would kick the shit out of all of your teams
Well,
with a whooping stick.
you get
And
to.
it's so frustrating to be in fourth place.
Yeah, so now you get to take the best of. So with your guys being so
from
good.
now on, I get it
it's,
from
it's
now on.
early in the season.
Is it? I feel like it's halfway.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
halfway?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like at least
It's-
it's got to be 3/5 of the way.
Oh,
No,
so
no, 2/5 of the way. Sorry,
2/5.
2/5.
Not quite
yeah,
halfway.
no,
Yeah, I was
not
gonna say
quite.
Champions Cup is before halfway, right? Like,
I think the swing out west in Portland is like the halfway point.
okay. So we're changing it up. I also owe one Trevor Williamson lunch He
Oh,
told me
before.
straight up that Champions Cup, he's like, go with Matty O. Matty O kicks ass in the woods. And I was like, sticking with Ez. And
You,
he was right. I owe
Yeah.
him lunch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Matty O played well.
real quick, did you see someone scored Matty O with an ace on 18?
Was there for a hot minute.
It's
and
a
then
par
went away?
5. I mean, tons of people screenshot it. It was there for I mean, I didn't see it live, but we gotta they gotta figure out the scorekeeper system. Like you kept score, right?
Yeah, I kept score, so
Yeah.
I know anytime if I put something in, even accidentally for a hole, it goes live and goes out to everyone. So I didn't have a ton of anxiety because the card I was on, they were in like 60th place for U.S. Women's, so it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't really stressed, but it would be very stressful if you were on a lead card and knowing that you could really affect how people play even by putting in the wrong score initially.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that the DGPT, that was having volunteers do it is cool for some of the volunteers, but it's a high stress job, especially for the upper cards. There should be some dedicated paid jobs for a scorekeeper. And then those people that are paid to scorekeep could teach the volunteers that are doing the lower cards.
I think
would be
I think
super
you do
helpful.
hit something that's there, but what if you didn't if you had one per card? I guess you're only ever filling the course, but I think what they just need is one person per hole that is keeping score on that hole.
Interesting. I like that idea.
Every person, all the players have to keep score anyway. Like every person on the card per the PDGA, them or their caddy has to keep score. So they're keeping a collective score on the card that's traveling throughout the course. That's a good idea. Keep that going. Now, hire or have 18 volunteers that can sit on the same hole for 2, 3, 4-hour shifts. They keep score on that hole. When the person comes to relieve them, they sit together there 20, 30 minutes, however long, till the person feels comfortable and gets how it's going, sees how and then they pass it over. And then they do that, 2 or 3 times a day. You need probably net less volunteers, I would guess, to do that. I don't know how many cards are going out. We could probably do that math real quick, but it feels like it's impossible for like the expectation is basically this. You're going to have a bunch of people I'm not trying to shit on anyone, but I felt the level of people that were keeping score range from someone who was maybe no bullshit, like a doctor, he just loves disc golf, to someone who didn't graduate high school but loves disc golf
And is also maybe a little stoned.
1,000% stoned. Might have even hit the vape just before he walked up to the first tee box. That's the range of people keeping score. So the variance in the type or the quality of data getting put in ranges between that. I tried to see what it would take to be extremely accurate on every single, and the only way it seems feasible is to have a single person stationed on the hole. And this could be in a way that maybe they have a couple that are on the ground. Maybe they're stationed up in a tower that's just sitting out of bounds. They can see the flight path of the drives.
What do they do for stick ball golf?
They have a whole scorekeeper. I'm not necessarily coming up with a brand new idea here.
I mean, if it works for them, that should be the evolutionary next step that disc golf takes.
We have rangefinders. We have cameras. That's the other thing that they have though. Each hole in the PDGA has they have a team of people moving with the cards for if you will, emotional shots and if you will, the heart and soul of the coverage. But most of the technical shots are on stationary cameras that are being either manually controlled, or I think a lot of them now flight track the ball and do an automatic pre-programmed sequence that just does the ball follow.
Would
Nice.
you
That would
like
be
to
so
see
rad.
they do those 3D computer generated things where they'll show the flight of the ball sometimes? Would you like to see that for disc golf if they
Absolutely.
could do that automatically, just show in a virtual world exactly how the disc was flying through the air?
I would love that.
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Everything about disc flying, you had me at disc flying.
Yeah.
The all of that though comes from what we're talking. I think it's the other thing that, and I'm not saying that you were this person, but of course, we'd love to see that, but the infrastructure needed to do that takes levels. Like the PGA is sponsored by Mercedes.
Yeah.
And like fucking, I'm not trying to shit on like Play It Against Sports, but Play It Against Sports sponsors,
They're not Mercedes.
That's
You weren't trying to shit on them, but you did just
Did it-
kind of
yeah,
shit
a
on
little
them
bit.
a little
Did it-
bit.
I love Play It. Shout out, no free shout out. Play It Against Sports.
Didn't Kristen Tatar have a car sponsors in like Audi?
Yeah,
or
no, it was
something?
like
She
Porsche.
has her local
She
Mercedes.
gets like it's a very small thing. I mean, there's
Yeah.
even like Austin FC has similar things where the players get sponsored by Ford and they get to drive like a local dealership and they get to drive a Ford around. That's basically all it is. It's cool,
so
but
cool,
it's kind of small time.
So new fantasy totals. We have a new leader, a new sheriff in town, if you will.
Yep. Let me pull that up again.
I mean, Rigdon is first.
Yes, I am.
Hey,
Nice work, Rigdon.
Insert applause emoji sound here.
Big day at Music City.
Yeah, I was last not very long ago, so this is a big deal for me.
500 points in one showing. That'll get you going.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a pretty good round at Champions Cup. It could have been better if I'd have followed what Trevor told me to do and ran with Matty O. But
Who gave you 192 though?
154 was my boy Ez. Yeah.
You're still not going to play. Did you get rid of Paul McBeth? Is that right?
Who's popping off
that-
now?
that
Right
sure
on
can-
time.
It's just like with football. It'd be like, oh, this receiver isn't doing anything, and then they do a lot of good, and it hurts my soul because I love Paul McBeth so much, and I was like, oh man, everybody says let him go, just let him go, and then he got second. He got second, Nick.
Yeah, he though, and the courses he plays well on are these type of courses
Yeah.
too. The last couple, yeah.
And he just got 10th place, I believe, in
Yeah, he
Champions
did
Cup, like
well.
top 10. So
And,
I
yeah,
mean, he's
still
back-
better than my boy Ez. Ez is gonna be fine. Ez is gonna, and he's, I think about his beautiful arms sometimes before I go to bed. So
Hot take. Northwood Black 4 rounds is not good coverage disc golf. It's hard to watch.
too much.
I like Ledgestone, 2 rounds in, 2 rounds out. It's dope. Northwood Black. It'd even be cool if they like just did 1 round in Northwood Black and like they did, but I don't think they'd ever just do 1 round and whatever. But like it was 2 and 2. It like I just remember I turned on the lead. It was like the lead card was like Dickerson, Heimberg. I don't remember who was on the card. But I think it was like 3 bogeys and a par, or maybe
Yeah.
Dickerson birdied. But it was fucking rough to watch.
They weren't crushing it. Yeah.
It literally looked like the 4 of us went and played, and one of us got lucky and got out of the basket, made the putt, and the other 3 of us schmucks
Just hit trees.
Yeah, fucking brutalized our way down the course.
I like some of that. You know what I mean?
Some of it's
'Cause
cool,
it makes
but
it's like, oh, okay, they're real people too. I'm not the only one who hits trees, but also like I'm watching pros. You know what I mean? There's a reason I don't watch as much high school football as I do NFL, because the NFL is better. High school is fun. It's all right. You okay?
did you follow the?
I think I did.
So are you when you're watching Disc Golf Pro Tour? Are you watching high school?
No, when I'm watching Disc Golf Pro Tour, I'm watching NFL.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
got it.
I want to see the good stuff.
What's high school?
High school is like us.
We're in high school.
Who's gonna watch
Yeah.
us do it? Like,
Oh, I see what you did there.
yeah. What's that?
We have a podcast where people watch us do shit sometimes.
High school.
Okay.
You just said who's gonna watch us do anything, and there's anybody to hear you say that is fucking watching us doing shit.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
What I meant is go play a round of disc golf at Northwood Black, obviously.
fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
Podcast.
So, yeah, I'm sorry
Idiot.
with my analogy.
Rigged in. What
Maybe-
a moron.
Maybe you can edit that to make us look cooler.
No.
Nope.
I get it. High school shit.
So Rigdon's in first.
So Rigdon's in first.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
job.
That's cool. Yeah, we're
Freeberg is in close second. Then we got Williams,
I've held
Trevor
second.
Williamson in third, and Nick
Yeah.
has dropped way down to fourth after Haley King. Again, we're gonna have to talk about that girl. And then Texas, I didn't. Mason Ford didn't get to play in Music City.
We're gonna fix that though. We're gonna fix that in the future so we don't have to stress about people not
It's
playing.
okay.
Mason's gonna get you playing points. Though.
Oh, I know. I got the best Texas player. I have the 3.
That's fantasy.
Line 'em up.
baby.
Line them up.
We're
Why are you
making a
in
little
fourth
rule
place,
change.
then?
We'll see how it goes next time.
Because the commissioner has very convenient rules. And we'll talk about those and other bullshit after this break.
Everyone loves the feeling of stepping up to the tee pad and reaching for your favorite disc. Imagine if every disc in your bag felt like your favorite. Introducing Sector Disc Golf's revolutionary technology. Approved by the PDGA in 2023, players choose their grip, then choose their rim, and throw with confidence. Available exclusively online at nshcustoms.com. Sector Disc Golf, Austin, Texas.
Okay, so we're back for Freeberg's favorite segment.
Oh, we're going to talk about snakes.
It's actually a really cool story. It's actually when he first told me about it, it seemed kind of pedestrian, but after showing the video and some of the pictures,
It's crazy, right? And
Yo.
those weren't even the worst pictures. Like he had one that showed bone that we can't show or won't show. Maybe on the Patreon. It was hardcore.
oh, we're gonna start a Patreon to
Yeah.
show snake bite
Show
bone, snake bite bone reveal. Check us out on the Patreon. Subscribe.
So we met this guy Steve. I met him out at Northtown.
You just ran into him playing casually,
Yeah,
right?
we were out playing around. He was waiting on some people. He was warming up, playing by himself. Ended up playing with us for a little while. And we were on hole 11. I was talking about like a time when I had seen a water moccasin. They actually on hole 11, the community, there was a big ass water moccasin that lived down there. They called it Big Bertha. It was named. I didn't know that when I saw it. I was picking up a stick that it was on. And it looked at me, like it looked in my eyes and it said, I could kill you. And I screamed like a Sonic 10-year-old girl crashed on her bicycle scream.
Sonic 10-year-old girl crashed on her bicycle scream. Okay.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Cue the
And
sound.
Jumped back. "Ah!" And scared all my friends. They're like, what happened? Did a small creature die? And no, it was just me. But I was telling that story, and it didn't bite me. It went back in the water, and it was fine. And this guy was like, oh, yeah, I was bit by a diamondback. And I was like, what? And so I guess we can go to the video. Now we talked to Steve, and he was bit out at Wilco back in April, 4 years ago.
Williamson County's in northeast Austin.
Correct.
Yeah, northeast Austin here. And what kind of snake was it again?
It was a diamondback, a Western Diamondback Rattler.
Spoiler alert, he almost died.
Cue it!
Steve, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how long have you been playing disc golf?
Steve, I've been playing disc golf for 15 years now. Way too long to be as bad as I am, but I love the sport. Austin, Texas. Born and raised.
So we're out here at Wilco right now.
So we're here, about right here. Just in this low shit.
Mm-hmm.
I step directly on the bat, and it just comes up, hits me. I feel like the jump this way, and then I just see it ripping off of my leg.
Second.
And then it starts rattling.
Oh, brutal.
There's no sound prior to that.
And it was right there, right? It was right
here.
Yeah. And was the grass taller when that happened?
Nope,
It was just like this?
Like this.
Do you,
Exactly like this.
and what kind of snake was it? Was it
Western Diamondback Rattlesnake.
Western Diamondback? Those are, from all the research I've been doing, those are the most common
Yep.
that we have around here.
Yep.
Did you like go down immediately? Did you like, what did the guys do? They have to
So-
carry you out of here?
It coiled up and was, staring at me. So I kind of hobbled,
Yeah.
and I ended up somewhere over here and sat down. The snake, I guess, stepped off. We did do a tourniquet for, it was like 5 minutes until we were on the phone with 911, and they were like, take that off now. Between the bite and getting into the ER, it was probably 45 minutes.
And then how long did it take you to recover? Like you were in the hospital, they got you some anti-venom, I assume.
Yeah.
And
So that, it was a long and arduous process. So I was in the ICU for 5 days, and then in Gen Pop for like another 5, so 10 days total. 22 vials of antivenom.
wow.
Months and months of recovering. They had me in the ICU for those 5 days to, like, every 2 hours, they were checking the pulse in my toes, basically. The top of my foot, they were making sure, like, hey, do you still have blood?
Okay, feel this. Okay.
But they also want you to do PT very quickly, because in your legs you've got capillaries that don't push blood back up without movement. You know, I had this giant swollen leg filled with liquid, and every time I would drop it off my hospital bed, the liquid would run back down, and just, it made my ankle feel like it wanted to literally explode.
Oh shit!
And like, I wanted it to at a certain point. So got sent home using a walker after those 10 days. Was using a walker to get around for probably 5, and then crutches for another week or so. And once I got off the crutches, I realized that I couldn't lift my right arm past my ear.
What?
It was right here. So in the hospital, like, the swelling had gotten all the way up to my armpit.
From your leg?
From my leg. And, you know, I don't know if it's because I was laying down so much, you know, it has the room to expand or whatever, but it messed with my nerves and my shoulders. And while, like, the actual hole, like, the skin didn't finally heal until the beginning of August, my shoulder I battled with for probably 2 years on and off. Going to physical therapy, rehabbing it, doing dry needling to just kind of work out the nerves and to get full range of motion back.
Wow. And like I see you got your bag out here.
Yes.
You're out here playing with us. You said you're working on your forearm a little bit because your shoulder didn't. Don't step on snake.
Felt it was appropriate.
And so at any point were you like, fuck this, I'm not playing disc golf anymore? Or
No, not whatsoever. I knew I was going to be back in whatever capacity I could, you know, and I started contemplating even learning left hand. I'm right hand dominant, and that was a terrifying prospect, but I was like, oh, I'm already terrible, so I enjoy the sport enough to be terrible with my offhand.
yeah.
But no, I was in bed on auction sites buying discs, you know, and I remember I bought I think 4 of the Another Round Moonshine Justices that they had released.
Hell yeah.
Just, I thought the stamp was sick, and I was like, no, I'm absolutely going to get back, and I'm going to play as soon as I possibly can.
Well, hey man, I really appreciate you sharing the story with us and reliving the trauma a little bit. Like, is it weird if I want to give you a hug? Because I kind of feel like, fuck me. That's crazy.
Big thank you to Steve for talking to us. It's really crazy, the whole snake bite thing. Like he said, he lived out his whole life, and it wasn't even something that he was prepared for. So we're going to make a different video that we're going to show later. Going to have a bunch of do's and don'ts. We're going to have some cool things that we talk about. We might even talk to the snake if Rigdon will let me. But a couple of quick facts we wanted to drop here. Half of all venomous snake bites are dry. So it's really a flip of the coin whether or not you're going to get actual venom.
What does that mean when you say it's dry?
It means when they bite you, they inject venom.
So that
And
when
so
it's
if
dry,
it's just a bite. They don't actually inject any venom.
Huh.
So that's something to be aware of. Not every bite has venom. And, you know, there's snakes actually prefer nicer weather. So like if you're out on 60 is a little too cold for them. 90 is actually a little too hot for them. So I always thought that like the hotter days were the days to watch out. That's actually not true. When it's nicest for us, it's nicest for them too.
Yeah.
So that's when to keep an eye out. Now some of the
where do the
crazy
snakes
things,
go when it's below 60 or over 90?
they're
Snake
still
holes.
out and
They go
about.
into snake holes.
But they still go into their snake
They go
holes.
down the
I
snake
went
hole.
down
Full
a
circle back to
long,
snake hole.
long snake hole here. And like I said, we're going to do a separate story so that we don't have a 15-minute
Yeah, we have a whole.
snake
Well, we have a
segment.
whole. It's going to be a new segment, right? It's Freeberg in the field. What is it?
Yeah, I think on the
Something-
field with Freeberg, something like that. It's going to be rad.
We're workshopping the name still.
But
Yeah.
a few of the things to just not do, to be sure not to do if you get bite. Don't attempt to suck out the venom. That's bad. It could damage an artery.
Is
and
that
actually
any
get the
snake?
venom in. Any venomous snake.
Okay. So if a normal snake bites you,
Yeah, you can suck on that if you want. Yeah,
But you shouldn't. That's weird.
so you
don't
clean
make
it
cuts
out.
around the snake bite. A lot
make
of the baby
cuts?
snake just show you to cut like a little X over the snake bite. Don't do that.
Oh, because it spreads it.
Yeah, it spreads it. And if there's like an artery or a vein in there that you cut that wasn't previously punctured, the poison can get in that and it can spread
really bad.
more quickly. Don't apply a tourniquet. I thought this was really interesting because a lot of the old snake bite kits had suction cups and tourniquets, and those are outdated. Don't use those. If you apply a tourniquet, the doctor thing that I was looking up, he was saying like applying a tourniquet is to save the life, and you're giving up on the limb.
Yeah.
So if you're bit on the ankle and you put a tourniquet on your calf, you're basically telling the doctors when you get to whatever medical facility,
you don't care about down the foot.
this leg is gone.
Yeah.
And medicine has improved so much since, snake bite kits have been around since the 50s.
Basically, you want to, if you're bit on a disc golf course, you want to get in the car and get to a hospital.
Get 911. So if you're far, they're saying don't even walk.
Oh, really?
The extra blood pumping will move the venom around. It's better just to be calm and wait. So definitely do that. And then definitely
sit on your cart and have someone see another reason to have
someone to roll you. Yeah. And so definitely get help and get out of there. So, but we'll have more on the other video that comes out. I'll break down all the different kinds of snakes that we have in the area, what to do if you see them. There's some crazy stuff like apparently copperheads smell like cucumbers. Yeah.
So if you smell cucumbers,
you've already pissed off a copperhead.
Really?
Yeah. So if you're walking and you smell cucumbers, redirect.
I think Rigdon might have just lost something. His eyes rolled so far back in the back of his head when you said that.
Yeah,
we're talking dizzy.
We're talking about important things like what people should do when there's snakes around and they could get bitten, and you're making jokes. I don't appreciate
That's
that
not a joke.
all.
That's a serious thing.
You said if you smell cucumbers, there's a snake.
Yes, copperhead snakes smell like cucumbers.
Yeah, but I get...
And they exert a very strong cucumber smell when they're agitated.
Okay.
That's something I found in the snake hole. You could have went in the snake hole with me, but you didn't. And, I'm just having to share the information.
Everyone up here, up on the ground level of the snake hole, really appreciates you doing that deep dive journalistically into the world of snakes. Really looking forward to the Freeberg in the Field Snake Edition. One, I couldn't believe how much of his body was affected. I couldn't believe that his bite on his calf affected his shoulder movement. And I can't believe how long it took him just to get back to like moving around. Like what a debilitating injury it was. It makes snakes a little scarier, but knowing that only half the bites are venomous, I mean...
Yeah. More people die by getting hit by lightning in Texas
than snake bites. That checks out.
Yeah.
I'd be the most worried, though. Obviously, with me, not that worried. Lola Bear, though. I feel like she would wander into a place that would...
Going through this, it built an extra concern, especially for my puppy. I got Ruby now that I'm taking out and training. Penny was perfect because she just... Like, I didn't teach her. She just knew. Like, if there was a snake, she'd get the shackles up, she'd growl, and she would push you away. She wouldn't mess with it, but she'd be like, snake here, Dad, don't do it.
Let's hope Lola's got that DNA
maybe
kicking, too.
Yeah.
All right, we've been talking about snakes for more than 5 minutes. Let's wrap this up.
I heard you had some...
What a snide remark from the producer.
I can't believe he's
stifling
like my creativity like that.
It's really been...
I know, Lola.
It's been a little disheartening to have Rigdon shit on the snake thing this whole time.
Deal with it.
What kind of asshole would just shit on all the work he did on snakes? Rigdon, jeez.
I'm over here eating cucumbers, guys.
Lola's little paw on the thigh here.
I know.
Pretty adorable.
Protect me from snakes, Uncle Daniel.
She's like, you guys said we're playing disc golf. But speaking of playing disc golf has always kind of reached into different areas of media. And one area that's been really interesting is DJ Rigdon has created some AI music that I think we're going to share right now at the end of the podcast. So as we're played out, enjoy the sweet tunes from DJ Rigdon and his disc golf tunes via AI. My man Freeberg here loves AI.
I love Rigdon and I love DJ Rigdon. I'm not a big fan of AI, just AI in general. I'm happy for it to help me put codes on the stuff. I'm happy for it to help me do work.
We're going to have to get out of here on that comment. For Barely Stable, follow us right here at Barely Stable Podcast, all the places you have social media accounts. And make sure you like and subscribe if you've made it this far in the video. Make sure you check out Freeberg's other video. We'll link it in the description and up in the top bar here to watch the entire snake package. It's really awesome. Like, there's more photos. There's some photos that I'm sure we're going to have the blurred ones up there. It's worth the click. But for Rigdon back in the booth, my man Freeberg here, make sure you check us out the next time and
just be cool.
stop worrying.